Welcome back to another video. My name is Emmett Enyart, and in today's video we're going to be doing some shed hunting. We have a lot of good finds in this video. Unfortunately, find a couple nice deadheads, but regardless, this will be the giveaway shed for this video, so make sure to keep an eye out for it. The first person who sees it will win this shed, or they can have a pack of shed tags or a free hat. And speaking of shed tags, I got some exciting news. We got 2 new colors just in stock. Restocked all our shed tags, but we also have 2 new colors. We have black, and we now have pink. So if you're interested in finding a better way to organize your shed collection, I highly recommend using shed tags. You can see right here, I've already put the black tag on this buck. I call it Blackjack. But regardless, that's shed tags. Enough for me. Let's dive into this week's video.
Hey guys, I just got home from work and I'm rushing right now because I want to go out. I think one of the bucks that I really want to find the sheds off of dropped on this farm. I have permission to shed hunt. And I'm rushing because I won't have that much time to look before it gets dark, but they're calling for rain in the next couple days. Our buddy Gary's coming in, and I'm gonna take him to a couple different places this weekend. And it just makes sense to try to get in here and look, being that I now think this buck that I call Turbo has dropped. The antlers aren't gonna be right next to each other, I know that, but we'll see what happens, so stay tuned. I really hope we can find this buck shed. It'd be really cool if we can. When I see it's raining, it's a great time to hit open timber, and this farm that I can hunt has a section of open timber, and I definitely want to check that. On my way over to the open timber section, I wanted to check. I came through one of these spots that's the best in this farm. Just take a look here. It's nice and broken up with cedars with a good thermal insulation layer, south facing slope. And I actually came up on the first one right here. And it doesn't surprise me one bit where it's at, up in this area. And this obvious open like spot right here, surprisingly, hasn't had an antler in it the past 2 years that I've looked at since I've gotten permission here. But this is the first. And it makes sense on why it's here. So hopefully that's not the only one we find, but if it is, that's more than expected on a quick walk after work. So here we are, we're walking a new farm. I got permission to shed hunt this year. It's close to the spot that I can hunt. It gets heavily pressured, but there's a deer that I know has dropped in the last week, and that's the deer that I call Turbo. And it'd be super cool to find his set this year. And we're gonna hit it before the weekend, or there's the chance that anybody else comes out and looks. Hopefully we can find some, but I guess we'll see. Well, I just came up on the first one right after like filming the intro for this farm, and this is an old one buried back here, but it is no longer gonna be there for us to find now that we've got him this year. I just came up on the first dead deer here today. There's a doe. Unfortunate. Not surprised, and not surprised it's by a creek. So if we're lucky enough to find Turbo today, I think he dropped his first side about a week ago. I think he dropped his other side about 2 days after that. So both of his sides haven't been down for more than a week. Let's go. This one's definitely gonna be fresh. Oh yeah, I know exactly what deer that is. Heck yeah. Look at that. That's a buck that I call TRJ. I'm gonna come up with a better name for him, but for now he's TRJ. That's his left side. Saw him back in deer season. His right side is a 5-point, very similar to this. Hopefully we can find his other side, but that's a big find there. I had pictures of Turbo more than I had pictures of this buck on camera, but they were definitely like not far off from each other. Would be surprised if they were bachelored up. You know, a couple of times I had pictures of both of them. So by finding his, I mean, we're in the right area. I think I had pictures of him holding this side, you know, right before Turbo dropped both of his. So that tells us that if somebody has hit this, they haven't hit it before Turbo dropped both his sides. Well, just came up on another old one right here. Look at this. Heck yeah. So that makes number 3 on the day. Nice 4, huh? here's a great sign. We just walked up on another old one right here on this new piece. Yes, that's perfect. That's exactly what you want to see on a new piece, is finding old ones like this. I think I know what deer this is from. I recognize this deer from last year. I would have never, ever would have thought he would have dropped over here. I thought he would have dropped west of where I was shed hunting. That's where I was thinking he was at. I would have never thought he would have came here. Probably close to a mile from where I was looking for his shed. So that's really interesting. I can't say this. I know this deer was alive this year. He dropped one of his sheds really early. I saw him in November and he had already shed one of his antlers, but then he didn't shed the other one until like February. So I don't know if he busted the other one off or what happened there, but it'd be really cool to find his sheds this year. He did get quite a bit bigger. Well, I can see a dead deer down there in the bottom. Another one real close to the creek. You'd have to think it's EHD. We've been hit with it 2 years in a row. Surely Mother Nature will give us a break for some years to come. Or that's all you can hope for. Or you can hope that it continues to happen and they just become immune to it. I haven't even put this one back in my backpack yet. Just came up on a freshie here. Right here. Very nice. Let's go. We're in the good spot. And I'm guessing that whoever else shed hunts this hasn't hit it yet, and we're just the lucky ones to be first. But there we go, another shed for today. Hopefully we can find some more. That's a cool one. It's like would be tall and tight right there. Potentially one that you could recognize maybe in a couple of years if he keeps that same look to him. Yo, there's a bone right over there that just gave me a real good feeling, just to be let down that it's not an antler, it's a bone. Oh well. There's a deer right here, unfortunate. Hate to see it. Hate to see it. Nothing new though. Dad found one. Now I just gotta see it. Looks like it's gonna be the match to this one. Hell yeah. Did you find this one today? Mm-hmm. All right, I'm about 7 miles in today. Haven't found one yet until just now. Finally came up on the first one today. Old one here. There we go. Nice 4. Not chewed too bad, just up there on its 3 and at the end of the main beam, but good find, and maybe we'll find some more. We're at 9 miles today, and I only have one shed to show for it, but I just made it to the second farm. My dad's on his way over with the area. I'm hoping that we'll find some here. This farm should definitely be the last farm that we'll hit this year, where we have the potential to find a lot. Just given some of the food that's in the area, I've been putting corn out for these deer on this specific farm because there's a specific deer I want to find. So I'm gonna be extremely thorough, make sure we cover every square inch of this. It's not a monster deer, but it's a deer that if I find his sheds, it'll be 3 years in a row that I have sheds off of him. Let's go. I just found one side off the buck I was hoping we'd find. That's gonna make 5 sheds off of him in the past 2 years. And actually I found an old one off of him last year. It's Tootsie Roll. But my dad and Gary are coming over here. So as much as I wanna go look up and see it in person right now, I'm gonna leave it lay. And we'll see if they find it. That's so cool though. He's just right there on that south facing slope. Perfect. Let's go. Let's go. We gotta find his other side now. Past 2 years he's dropped both of his sides right next to each other. But this year that's not the case. The only reason I know that's the case is because I have pictures of him carrying one side. And if he does end up dropping together, it's just by sheer coincidence. Well guys, I think I just found one. Yes, I did. This is a small one, and I think it'd be tough if you don't see it from the right angle. I think the sun's at my back right now. That's why it's easier to see. It's on this bank. Deer's coming down through here, or bedding right here on this southeast facing slope. It stuck out like a sore thumb to me from back over there. But if you're coming down here, yeah, I could see where it might be difficult to see. So I'm not gonna play tricks on those guys with this one. That's a nice one. Nice and fresh, nice little guy. Cool. I love the little ones. We're already at 2. Well, only 1 I've picked up, but we know of 2 that's been dropped here, so that's really good. Let's find some more. I was just walking side by side with Gary, and I could see one over here. Look at that.
That's a big one.
That is a big one. Look at that thing. It's a big boy. Nice. That's this year. That one's been down a while too. Well, if we haven't found enough dead deer this year already, nothing like adding another one to the tally here. I'm so tired of finding dead deer. I'm so tired of it. No idea what would have killed that deer. Very nice that these clouds came back out. Makes me feel a lot more comfortable that I'm not missing something in this timber. Well, we were just trying to game plan for going down this draw, make sure that we covered it thoroughly, because it could be easy to miss one in here. And he just, as we were talking about it, he just said he found one, which was coincidental that we were all just standing right here, but that's right here in a bed. Nice. Nice 5 off of a young deer, it looks like. Good find. Let's find some more. We're getting close to the heart of Tootsie Roll's bedroom. We can find both his sides. That'll be the first deer that we've ever found 3 sets off of the same deer. It would be an awesome accomplishment considering that, you know, how small this farm is, how far these deer travel. I got another one. Here we go. Look at that. That's a little guy. Which means that we're not missing them. Heck yeah. Might be other side to one of the little ones I found earlier. Let's go. Another fresh one. We're in the right spot. Well, I just found this one. Gary called up, said that he found one. So let's go see what he's got. That ain't the one I left, but that's the other side of, that's Tootsie Roll.
What?
That's Tootsie Roll. Let's go. Heck yeah. And I already know where his other side is, so that means that we have matched him up for the 3rd year in a row. That is the first. Big old fat boy.
Oh, that's that old one.
Yeah, he's an old fat boy. Good find. Super cool. All right, let's go find his other side. So Gary just found Tootsie Roll's other side, but the crazy part is, right when you saw it, I see one over here.
There's another one here.
What? I've got one right here that's... Are you kidding me? What? That's Tootsie Roll's other side. I couldn't see that one from when I was walking, but that's Tootsie Roll's other side. I had seen that earlier over here.
So,
and then there's one right here. So we got 3 of them right here. Let's go see what this one is real quick. No, that's this year's, Gary.
Is it?
Yeah. All right, so there's one. That thing busted off. Gnarly. Look at his, that's a weird antler. He's like hollow right there. And then Gary found this is the other side of Tootsie Roll. That's awesome. That is the 3rd set that we have off of this deer. Unbelievable. This year was a little bit different. He didn't drop them side by side, but he dropped them like a day or 2 apart, but they weren't really that far apart. Old boy, maybe he'll be around next year. Just found this one. This is off a young deer. There's almost too much going on at once here. And if that's not enough, man, yes sir, this is an antler I was really hoping to find. That's an awesome deer. That thing is a young deer. So we just got 3 antlers within 20 yards. I remember seeing him in late November, and that's one to see in a couple of years. All right, well, there should be some antlers to find. We know this is the big one. That is the big one.
You got another set off a Tootsie Roll. This is gonna make 6th and 7th antler that we've had off of this deer, and we've only been able to shed hunt it for 3 years. It's pretty cool because we found this one last year, and that's an old one off of him. You can definitely tell, and it's close to his core. This would have been his set from last year, if you guys have watched my videos, you would have seen when I would have found this one. That was pretty crazy how he got that yarn wrapped up in his antler. So that was the set from 2024. Then the first year that we could shed hunt it, we found his sheds. Still has that same look to him. Right there, 7 sheds off of Tootsie Roll in only 3 years. But 3 sets off the same deer, that's a first for me. I've never experienced that. Super cool. It's pretty sweet because he's like the first year that we could hunt the farm, he already looked like a tank. Like he looked like an old deer then. And every year since, he's continuing to look like an absolute toad, which is why we call him Tootsie Roll, because he's just like a big old cylinder. But would love to see this type of history with every deer that we have, but with between EHD, other people shooting deer and whatnot, it's extremely rare. So very lucky to have this opportunity to find this many sheds off of one deer. It's also nice to have these shed tags to keep the traceability on this deer.
Some ripped paths here for sure. Gary just found one. We were actually walking really close together here, but Gary just found the other side of that nice find. That's the other side of that nice young deer. That'd be one to see in, like, I mean, I hate to say it, but like even 3 years from now. I mean, that's just insane to say, but and the thing was funny, Gary, is like all the other young deer were pushing him off. Like that's what made me think he was even like younger than them.
What was that thing going down in here?
I don't know what it was doing now.
I mean, seriously, if you didn't have to be down in there, why would you be?
Might be just good wind block. Yeah, I don't know. Good find, Gary. All right, guys, we're out for another day of shed hunting. I'm excited to be out, going into a new area on a farm that I've only got permission to shed hunt. And unfortunately, this farm, from what I've heard, has been peppered with EHD, or at least just this area has been peppered with EHD, and a lot of deer have died. So my expectations aren't very high. I wouldn't be surprised if we find more dead deer than we do antlers. But it just feels good to get out, and we'll see what happens. Like I said, it's only a place I have permission to shed hunt, so I don't run cameras. That actually kind of makes it a little bit more fun, in my opinion, because you don't know what to expect. So stay tuned. Hey, here we go. Just got the first one today. Right there, nice freshie off of this cedar thicket. Oh, dropped it. Nice frost on it. It's gonna warm up today. It's gonna be a beautiful day. Hopefully we can find some more.
Okay, but we're out here without Emma today. And see a deadhead. Looks like an EHD kill. Man, isn't that a shame? That is a shame. Sure, we're going to find some others here today.
Well, I just came up an oldie here. Real old. I don't even keep that one, but yeah, I guess I will, because I'll need it for the count. But I won't be surprised if that's most of what we find today, considering that this part of the state got hit really hard. Well, there's a buck right there dead. So it looks like a little 6-point. I'm not walking through that rows just to show you, but take my word for it, there's a buck dead right there. Another dead deer not far from it. I don't know what it is. I don't see the head with it. Oh, there's the head. It's a doe. So there's another dead deer. Definitely in the EHD hotspot.
Just crossing this ditch and happened to spot this one. Oh, there's another one. Match that right there. Nice. Those are a year old. I'll take them. I will take them.
Big buck down here in the bottom here. I mean, I guess I can't say he's big. I don't know. But it's a buck. And we've been from this year, but it's surprising how much leaf matter has built up on him. Actually, it doesn't look like it's as big as I was thinking it was going to be. That's like the 5th dead deer I found in. Oh my gosh. That's a tank. That's a huge 8-point. Holy smokes. That is a big 8-point. Wow. That wasn't the buck I was expecting to pull up there, but that's just another beast that got taken down to a disease. That would have been one to see. Straight down in this creek. Hate to see it. Hate to see it. Well, I think I just found like the 7th dead deer that's on this single creek, and we really haven't made it more than 100 yards from where I just found that last big deadhead. And there's one right here as well. Man, this is terrible. That is terrible. Gosh darn it. How does that happen? EHD is so ruthless. Man. I hate to see it. Hate to see it. All right, there's another dead deer right there. I just walked past another dead deer. That dead deer was from a previous year. It looked like a doe. Definitely wasn't this past year's. Well, I just came upon another dead deer right here. That would have been this year's. Probably an early summer kill. This one looks really old. Really old right there. Dang. Yeah, that's an old one for sure, but it counts. I don't even care to imagine how long that thing's been down. I just found that old one like right there, and I came up out and I was looking up into these trees right here, and then I was about to come out into this field. As I stepped, I'm like, whoa, there's one. And then I stopped and I turned back and there's another one right here. So this has got to be this year, right? Got a bunch of bugs on it. Yeah, those are this year. That one was just in the water a little bit. Good stuff.
See, we got another deadhead here. Buried in the mud. Yep, another EHD kill. More than likely.
Well, I just came up on another dead deer. I'm not sure where the head's at, but you can see it right here. Well, just came up on one here. Another one for today. I can't believe that. I have no idea what's going on there. That one might have busted off during the rut or something, where like that wasn't naturally shed. That was like just a nasty fight that got him in trouble. And because I've never seen anything like that, how it's busted right there. I mean, I would have to think that he did that during the rut. Hopefully he's all right.
Walked up here on top of this hill and look over and I see that sticking over the leaves. Not bad. Hopefully I'll look around here, maybe I'll find the other one. Well, a minute ago I found this one and I was hoping to find the match. So I stayed on this top and wandered back and forth, and I'm looking now, and I don't know if you can see it. Right over there it is. No, that's not it. Well, maybe it is. Yeah, that's it. That's the same buck. Well, we'll keep looking.
Just coming down this path here, looking for a needle in the haystack, and it's exactly what I found. Right here, perfectly laying, easy to see. It was looking right down in front of me, and that worked out in my favor. There we go, nice 5-point this year, fresh. Perfect. Let's find his other side. Well, I just found another one, and I got super lucky how I seen this one, because I'm just looking in front of me on this path, and I look over to my right, and I can see this one laying off. Wow, look at that thing. There you have it. That thing's really concaved in. Must have been real low on testosterone this year. It's surprising for a little one like that. But just came upon another dead head here. Not super surprised. That's another one today. But no lack of them. I think we found 10 plus dead deer, and CHD is just nasty. Well, we just came up on another dead one right here. Hate to see it. We're seriously only like 30 yards from where I just found that. I don't know how many that puts us at today, but a lot. I don't get it. There's deer hair everywhere. Where's the deer? You'd think it'd be in the creek. Where the heck's the deer?
Well, we're in this gnarly stuff here, right off of a cornfield. We're getting all chewed up, as you can see. But I did spot one here. Over. Check it out. Yeah. Not bad. I believe that's his ears. That's good. Maybe the other one's laying around here. Keep looking for it.
Well, if we haven't found enough dead deer already, here's another one. Working through some nasty stuff right now. Here's another one. Yeah, it's just too bad. Hate to see it. Another one bites the dust. We're about 16 miles in now. Whoops. It's not an easy 16 miles by any means. Been a lot of nasty multi-floor roads and just getting through some really thick stuff the entire day. And unfortunately, found more deer than I could ever imagine. I mean, I'm really happy we found some of those sheds that we did, but at the end of the day, it's really disappointing to continue to find so many dead deer. It'd be really cool if somebody could come up with a cure for EHD. What are you doing? Oh my goodness. What are you doing? Wanna go shed hunting? Another day of shed hunting.
Yes, sir.
Ibuprofen.
All right, guys, we are back out for another day of shed hunting. I'm out here with my dad and Gary, and we have had a great weekend so far. A little bit disappointed yesterday, found a lot of dead heads, but that's just the way it is, and that's the nature of Iowa at this time. So either way, we're heading out, and we're actually on a farm that I finally got permission on. I've been trying to get permission for a couple years. The only catcher is that I know we're getting sloppy seconds going into today, but this farm is close to a farm that I bow hunt. Sometimes getting sloppy seconds isn't as bad as you think. Especially if the people that look don't like get off the side-by-side or four-wheelers. I'm hoping that's the case here for us today. We're gonna thoroughly scour this farm. Stay tuned, and hopefully we'll find a few. Just came up on the first one here today. Pretty interesting here. Was just coming down along this path, and look to my left. There's an old one here, which is a good sign, especially on a place that we haven't hit before. Nice 4-point. Chewed up a little bit. Well, we haven't been here too long. Dad called over and said he found one. Looks like a decent one, huh?
Well, it's old, busted.
Oh, that would have been a heck of a deer.
That brow tine.
Nice split brow, a nice G2. What would have busted that deer up, huh?
I don't know.
Be a heck of a fight to break that off. Almost looks like he would have had an inline point.
Huh.
That could be off a deer that we recognize. Very well could be. All right, well, I think I just came up with my second one today, and that looks like it's gonna be a good one. Look at this. right here. Oh my gosh, I know exactly what deer that is. Oh, dude. Wow, that thing is huge. I looked for him last year. Obviously didn't have permission here. This video ain't gonna do it justice, but that is so heavy. Such a dense antler right there. He actually was a 7-point. His other side, he had 4. This side, he had 3. I'd see him in the rut every year when I was bow hunting that farm. I'd see him in November, but I didn't see him this year. But a lot of deer have died to EHD this year, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's dead somewhere, maybe here. I actually saw him 3 times last year. I'd seen him a couple times the year before. Last year, he came in and bedded with a doe 60 yards from me. It was a crazy hunt, just an absolutely crazy hunt. I can't wait to get it caught, my videos caught up. But anyways, that deer has been in my mind for so long. I'm happy we found his shed, but man, I tell you what, to see how big he is in person now is unbelievable. That's gonna be the biggest 3-point I've ever found. Like, that thing is so big. And when you look at him on the head, like, he seriously sat like this, and that would have been a massive 7-point. Wow. Like I said, I didn't see him this year, or if I did, he changed up his looks completely. But wish we'd have found it last year. Wish I got permission to shed hunt this last year. That thing, I'm telling you, it's the heaviest antler I've found this year, no doubt. And it's only got 3 points on it. This antler's heavier than 3 of my climbing sticks. I'm just carrying it because I don't want to sit there and feel that weight on my back the entire time. Oh, it looks like there's a dead deer right up here. Doe. We're getting ready to go over to the second farm. We're gonna take the side-by-side and the 4-wheeler, hoping to find some in the cornfield here, so we'll get loaded up and head on out. Well, we've been looking in the cornfield here for a little bit. Dad said that he had one, so we came over to him, and this one stands out pretty easy because he shed that antler back in November. I filmed this buck back during bow season. He had already shed this antler, and it makes sense why, because he broke it off so deep. I don't know if that was from a fight or whatnot, but man, I hope he lives. But that looks so deep that, geez, he's a young deer that had a lot of potential. Hopefully that doesn't kill him. He carried his other side till February. His other side's quite a bit smaller, and called him Loppy because of it, lopsided. But maybe he'll survive. Maybe we'll get lucky. Nice deer. Well, those guys are out looking in the cornfield on the 4-wheeler and UTV. I decided to get off because I was just tired of looking down corn rows and start walking in a section that we haven't checked yet. Hey, so just came up on one here. First fresh one of the day for me. Look at that. Not surprised, there's a good food source right up there in the corn. And I think this one might be a match to the one that we found the other day, because it looks really similar, where there's another 2-point that has that same exact look to it. So, good deal. Really fresh. Hopefully we'll find some more. It's pretty crazy. There wasn't any water here not that long ago, but all the snow and rain we got. Now we got this whole bottom filled up with water. So I've been riding around on the 4-wheeler here, and you guys want to see something cool? As you can see down the 4-wheeler, right? Well, I drive around, and this will be a perfect example of how critical that sun is. Look at this. Yes, sir. That's the other side of Loppy, right there. This year's. You can see how small the pedicle is. Would have been an awesome deer. It just makes me sick to think that he might not make it with how much of his skull he broke off. I hope I'm wrong, but yeah, he's a stud of a deer, and that's why we call him Loppy. If you put this up against his other side, you'll see that this side's smaller than the other side. It's pretty crazy because his other shed was just up in this cornfield right here, probably only like 50 yards apart, but he shed these antlers. He shed his other one in November and then didn't shed this one until February. So we're talking about like a 3-month difference, and they were only 50 yards apart. Pretty crazy. Well, Gary and Dad found one over here. I was up doing a different field. So, nice. Pretty cool. See see if we can find some more. I'm on a new farm now, looking for Turbo. Really hoping we can find him. Still doing my best to try to find at least one side. Well, I was just talking to the camera about how we're on this new farm, and I came down along this path because I saw this path was beat. So I'm like, all right, well, and then I looked down, and there's one right there in the tall grass. Very nice. Let's go. Hopefully we can find some more. That's the first one on this farm. All right, this one's weird. This one, I did a double take on this one and almost looked away from it again. This is crazy. I'm looking in the most improbable spots here for Turbo, and that's gotta be an antler. And it is, just a little guy from a long time ago, but we're gonna count it. On this northwest facing slope, under some nasty multiflora. I've been checking all the spots that I haven't checked yet for Turbo, hoping to find a hidden gem, and that one was barely sticking up out of the ground, and I got lucky. In efforts of finding Turbo, I found another old one right here in a spot that I would never check. These super thick cedars, north facing. I really don't know why a deer would be here, but I'm laying down to grab this one. And right there we got another old one. Just broke his chain too. Gosh. All right, let's see if we can find some more.
All right, that's gonna conclude this week. These were 2 huge deadheads that we found. As you can see, we've got salvage tags on them, so they are legally collected. But I'm gonna do a giveaway on my Instagram page here later this week on who can guess the score of this 8-point. I think this is the biggest 8-point I've ever found. So I'll score them in the next few days. Then we'll do a giveaway on Instagram. So you wanna make sure you stay tuned for that. I wanna thank you guys so much for watching this week. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and also hit the bell so you can be notified when we drop more videos. We're still reaching for that goal of 150. So thanks again, and until next time, I'm signing out.